So let me turn to Pablo now. Pablo, what brought you here? Obviously, you spent a great deal of time. You were in a company that was worth billions of dollars, and here you are uh, joining a company that's in a sense just starting to break out.
Yeah, well, many reasons. Thank you so much for the invitation. And just to go straight to the question, is it was actually when we start this approach, working for North Isle, I request a visit and develop, right? To see the operations, to see the facilities, but also to get a taste on how deep mineralization is exposed on the ground, how the mineralization can be identified easily from the core, and how the team, as Sam says, the team has this capacity to understand what they are seeing, and all these ingredients they were there. Absolutely. So we went to the ground. I see the potential by myself, just seeing one of the outcrops that they have Hashima, which is one of the main assets of the company, and seeing how from there you can extend to the other evidences that actually this is an important belt that can host important mineralization in terms of both copper and gold, and plus that precedent from BHP operation for many years. And I was really surprised seeing a place in Vancouver Island with that amount of development, infrastructure, and logistics very close to a porphyry belt. That's not something that happens very often. Normally, when you see the potential of belts, they are in the interior of the country or very isolated and with hard conditions. Well, this is not the case. I was really surprised to see all these expressions or porphyry mineralization along the belt, the entire belt, from the southern part to the more northwest extension, seeing those expression of mineralization in a porphyry copper gold system, or the expressions of many of the systems. So I was really surprised. And when I start with the team digging the data that they have after years of exploration and prospection campaigns, seeing the amount of data, high quality data, especially in the geophysics and also in mapping and drilling, I was surprised that at what point you can have an important impact when you analyze this in a proper way. What I'm trying to say with this is when a company is exploring for porphyry deposits in a belt, they invest time, money, but essentially time to get all the data ready to get that exploration program. In this case, all this is there, right? The geophysics for other companies that they did that before, even from the government geological survey, in terms of airborne survey in that area is extremely high quality. There is an EM survey from 2005, Fugro survey, that has this very clear relationship with mineralization and making the distinction with the areas that maybe are not mineralized. That helps a lot, right? So I think that one of the more important things in this well is that high quality of the data, how the data, especially geophysics, respond to the mineralization, and how the team is understanding all these factors.
And I think that's really important, right? Because my predecessor, who's Jack McClintock, he was awarded the discovery of Spence, which is now one of BHP's largest mines. He had a comment around our area. He said that, if this was in Chile, if what we have here was in Chile, it would have been drilled like Swiss cheese, right? It's because Chile is very arid. Everything just comes up to the surface. There's no top cover that hides the geological formations, and it's just so obvious when you see these massive lithocaps and silica structures coming out to the structure. Any person in their right mind would just drill, right? But the problem with our area, it's not a problem, but it's the reality of our area. There is a lot of vegetation on top. There's a lot of, shrub and top cover that doesn't make it exposed or that obvious to the naked eye. And so all of these techniques that Pablo is talking about, all this information that's been accumulated over the past many decades, really will help us triangulate on an area that isn't as obvious to the naked eye, but is as prospective as some of the major areas in Chile, Peru, Argentina, geologically speaking. So I think this is, again, we've just scratched the surface here around this 50-kilometer district, and then we've obviously focused on the highest grade to date area that has informed a PEA that I can get into a bit later. But last time we spoke, the reaction of the market and everybody else has been exceedingly positive, right? This is a project that economically, as we've defined it in the PEA, is something that should be expedited as quickly as possible, according to everyone we've spoken to. So that's going to be the parallel track that we follow, but we really cannot take our eye off the ball across this district, right? Because there is a belief that we actually have not found it yet, right? We're kind of scratching around the surface, things that are obvious to us from the naked eye. But I think this data synthesis that Pablo is going to be driving, I think, is going to give us a much better understanding of what the potential is